Hello, Rayman in particular.
Hey there, Tyler.
This is untitled, unfocused. Um, we got some stuff to talk about today,
Don't we always?
don't we always, man? Wouldn't it be funny if we didn't have something to talk about?
I thought we already had one of
All the
those.
laughs. But yeah, today we're gonna be continuing a bunch of stuff. Continuing the anime, Lycoris Recoil, and Rent a Girlfriend. We want to do like a slight check-in on the fantasy draft because we haven't really touched on that at all. We got Face Off, Nicolas Cage, and then we got started She-Hulk. That's a lot of fun, and then we're finally continuing the book, which is a good time as well. Locke, Lamora. Oh, you don't have the sheet. Oh, yeah, because you also made notes on the fantasy draft too, right?
Yeah, I made notes in the draft. I just forgot where they put them. There's like,
That's okay. Yeah, Ray. We'll start where we always start. We can start with the anime stuff. Let's go with Lycoris Recoil. All right, the actual quality show that we're covering this season.
hey, let's go.
So we got episodes 3 and 4. You want to start, Ray? Or you want me to?
Okay, so if I remember correctly, episode 3 I think is the one where they go back to the headquarters, and then she's just flexing on everyone
Correct.
there.
Yep, that does happen because Chisato, she has to do it's basically like a physical,
Like a
I guess you have to
yearly
do 'em
thing
yearly.
they do, yeah.
Yeah. And what's the other girl's name? Takina comes along because she's like, hey, be a chance to talk to the commander or whoever. But yeah, she does turn up on everyone, and she basically like solos their team.
Oh, it was pretty
Like
funny.
like I don't remember.
It was like she can dodge
Yeah, I wrote
bullets
down.
in real time.
Yeah, which is funny because we talked about that in covering episodes 1 and 2. But like she actually can, and like even the other Lycoris are like, no, you don't understand. We don't know how she can do this. But she's like, that's not like a Lycoris thing that they learn how to dodge bullets. Like
Oh.
Chisato can just do it.
She's just like peak human.
Yeah. We're like, I forget the one scene. I just want to throw it out there, right? What's really throwing me off right now is that my computer cannot handle everything that's going on right now. So my camera is off, like the video's off. So it's really throwing me off. So if you see me get thrown off, that's why.
Okay.
But yeah, there's that one scene where I forget who it was. Was it? I'm pretty sure it was like I don't remember. I usually would call him the commander or the lieutenant or whoever that Takin was gonna go see. It was like a scene between him and like one of the other workers there that was monitoring their training, and then he was explaining to her like, no, you don't understand. Like she can dodge bullets, and then he like held up a gun to like her forehead basically, and was like, it's even difficult to hit her from this range, from like arm's length. It's difficult to like actually make contact with her. It's like I don't know, like how hard did she train? I wanted to see if we'll see who trained her and like how she became because like was she just a normal person that trained really hard and just is really good, or was there something special about her?
Well, like she starts off saying that she's like the other Lycoris, so like she has like I guess a similar origin. It's obviously it may be something different, it's like that like really spawned everything. But like the essential setup is like, oh yeah, this is the place, and then she's like, I just hate it here, and I'm like, well, it's like her entire attitude towards everything is like completely open, and everyone else is like pretty sheltered. So she's like showing Takina, be more like me. I'm a savage, and these guys are holding you back. Not really saying that though.
Yeah, because I mean she agrees with Takina with a lot of things, or not even agrees with her because Takina doesn't even know what she believes in. I think that was a big part of the episode 4 which is Takina really like understanding who she wants to be and not always, you know, not being under like the weight of being just a straight up Lycoris, you know?
Yeah, just being a normal average girl.
Yeah, which is really nice. We had like basically all of episode 4, I believe, was Chisato just bringing her out and like spending the day with her. And like in the beginning, Takina was like, "What's our mission?" And Chisato was like, No, you don't understand. There's no mission. I just want to hang out with you and like be normal." And then by the end of it, when they're at the aquarium, Takina like starts dancing like a fish.
Dude, I saw that image
she was like,
before this. And I was like, I wonder what episode that's going to be. Then the moment we hit the aquarium, I'm like, go.
Yeah, but then also brings up that aquarium stuff is interesting too, because it also brings up how Chisato was looking for this one specific person just to like say thank you to them, basically.
Mm-hmm.
They like wore the same like owl pendant.
And that's the guy.
And that, so yeah, which I wanted to talk to you about, because I don't know, I guess I just didn't believe it like at the end there, where like that was the guy that kept, you know, it's like the CEO guy, it's, you know, kept hanging out. And then that also answered our question from the last time, where we were like, you know, does he know, which we already kind of knew that he knew about Chisato and all them, what they do. But then like the owner of the shop,
yeah, he
knows that he knows, so like he's in on it. So it's like that was kind of weird too. It's like, what is his role exactly in this whole thing? Because again, like that guy is someone that does things that the Lycoris frequently try to stop, right? Or at least he like funds them or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Maybe,
right?
I mean, I might
so it's like,
about it. Like, I have a feeling, my theory was that he's doing this to try to bring back the blood-thirsty Chisato that we keep getting hinted at existing.
Do you think that's what it was? Do you think that's the reason why she ended up leaving? Because she became something that, you know, she literally became a weapon rather than just a human. And then she was like, oof, I'm out. I can't do this anymore.
Like, they keep bringing up the radio tower with her, and then like it keeps getting brushed away really quickly. And then in the last episode, we have the guy saying that geniuses are something important, even if there's like geniuses for killing.
Mm-hmm.
Something.
She's definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then there's some of the like scandalous stuff with the mission that Takina was on, where they mentioned there was radio interference.
Yes, they did say that.
And Chisato was like, she was very upset at that. She was like, no, wait, hold on.
So like they made her take the fall to cover the radio interference.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's just like, that's not cool. What do you do? And then that's another like bonding moment between them two, where Chisato was like, hey, here's what happened. Like, I don't know. I feel like that sort of like catalyst has been used before in other stories and whatever, where it's like, oh no, they actually don't care about you. Like they will throw you under the bus for their own, you know, to like save face with their like underground company or whatever the Lycoris are. And again, that propels her further towards episode 4, which again we've already talked about, is one where Takina starts to be normal and starts to not care so much about getting back into that company that is never going to let her back in. It's just not going to happen.
I do like the nice blending of the slice of life with the actual drama that's going on. Or like not the drama, but like the action sequences as well. We also have like the subplot of, I think, the green-haired guy like setting up that train. And then being bamboozled and then bamboozling again.
Can you explain that more?
It happened like at the last sequence when they were at the end of their date.
Oh, yes. Yep. I remember now. Yep, you're right. Yeah, because his whole thing, I mean, he was kind of like a low-level guy, because like his whole thing was he just wanted to be noticed. He's like one of those kind of terrorists where it's like, oh, I just want to like have a crazy thing happen, and then I can come on and say I did that. But then it got covered up because the Lycoris were too quick.
And then he's like, well, I'll just
like
yeah.
And then we saw more of the one hacker guy, like Roboto, trying to come in and help him, and the guy was like, I don't need your help. He hung up on him.
It's just like it's a lot of like different things going on, and I feel like we'll see more of him in the future. Like he's
definitely
interesting, and like that also lets us like know more about where the stolen arms are, because he has them and he's using them right now.
Right. Yeah.
I do like to see how everything just kind of meshes together, and we'll get more of that in the future. We also get to see Anime Columbo.
Yeah, because like you said, there are. We see what?
Anime Columbo again, the detective.
Yeah, that is true.
He's back on screen.
Yeah, we really do have a lot going on. There's a lot of moving parts that, like, half of them we don't really know where they're heading. But yeah, I mean, it definitely does feel like one of those stories that's probably towards like episode 7 or 8. Everything is really gonna come together.
And then like the hacker as well. She's making her own progress. She put on the VR goggles, and like we don't even know where she's gonna end up with that stuff.
Yeah, she's like the one doing the most work, it feels like.
Behind the scenes, yeah, she's doing a lot of stuff right now. And she's like looking online and seeing black market sales. She's like, nah, they weren't sold in the market. These prices haven't even gone up.
Yeah, it can't be. Yeah, it's true. And I have like the one joke there where I forget who said it. I think the one lady that used to be a Lycoris that works at the cafe now. She was talking to the hacker when they just had what you just said, and then she was like, what does he need with 100 guns? He only has 2 arms. And the hacker was like, what if he has 50 men? Like, what kind of question is that? What do you mean? Like, what do you? Of course he has an army, but then her whole thing was, well, wouldn't the Lycoris see that? Like, if someone's building an army to do something that an army would be needed for, wouldn't this already be on their radar? Which again, going into a little bit of, I don't know if there's gonna be some like corruption that's happening in the whole Lycoris system.
Could be,
but because I mean it was, we mentioned earlier, but like it was hacked, which never happens. Which I'm assuming that was probably Roboto, unless he's just.
But there's gotta be a way on the inside. At least
that's true.
Happen is that like, like you can probably crack it, but you know how long that would probably take. Better for them to have it explained with someone on the inside gives the info, or someone on the inside's doing it as well, working with them.
And I like going back to their like 2-on-2 training session. When Takina came in at the last moment, she intended to shoot Chisato, but knowing that Chisato was gonna dodge it, and I was seeing that in the moment because you see Takina about to fire, and then it zooms over to Chisato. Like for a half second, she's confused. She's like, "Wait, what's happening?" And then she kind of nods, and it's like she's planning it. She knows, like she knows enough about her already that this plan is gonna work.
That's kind of insane, though. Like again, I'm just saying, like split second decision to be like, I'm gonna shoot at you, and it's understood. Like, okay, I'll take it. Like
everything surrounding Chisato is insane. Cause like even when the other 2 girls, I don't remember their names, but they were talking afterwards about it, and the one like newer recruit who was
I don't know the other one. Fuki.
Yeah, whatever. She was like apologizing, like, "Oh man, my shooting just wasn't like wasn't like on par today." No. And the other girl was like, "No, you don't understand. Your shooting was too good. That's why Chisato was able to dodge it." And it's just like blowing their minds. They're just like, there's just no winning. Science doesn't explain how she's able to do what she does.
So you just got to be bad. Is the actual answer?
Yeah. It's like Rock Lee when he gets drunk. It's like he's unpredictable. Maybe something like that would be able to throw Chisato off. But if you're just too good at everything, if you're going at everything the most efficient way possible, she's gonna be able to read it because there's actually a strategy to break down.
Mm-hmm. You got to be purely instinctual to have a chance.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. You gotta move in a way that's unreadable. That CEO guy, his name is Shinji, by the way. I wrote that down.
I just had the mail list up.
Stacking onto. Oh yeah, I have notes. Just tacking onto the whole Chisato is just an animal. When her and Takina were having like sweets, because like Takina never does, apparently she doesn't eat that stuff. She heard people behind her like speaking French or something, and she just like politely got up from her seat and walked over and just started helping them understand the menu.
Dude,
because she can apparently speak their language.
I'm assuming that's something like the Lycoris just know, the Lycoris, like they just know many languages or whatever. Like they're trained super spies.
But I don't think that's normal though, because Takina didn't do anything.
Hey, she's ignorant.
You know what I mean?
She doesn't want to help people.
That's fair.
Or she's still acclimating to this environment that Chisato has put her in.
Okay.
This is more of a glimpse of what Chisato would do normally, leisurely, if given a choice. That's what we're seeing. So she's basically inviting Takina and be like, we could do this more, because this is what I like doing.
This is like way better too. Like if I was ever in that position, I feel like I would like Chisato's way of doing things more, like just chilling and helping people rather than going on.
Let's be fair though, like you were taught at like a very young age and raised in that sort of environment, so it feels completely different to be there. It's out of your comfort zone entirely. In fact, you're uncomfortable doing that.
Yeah. But like I also feel like even if that is all you know, I feel like there's a certain level of trauma that's attached to it that I don't think as much would be attached to it if you were to just do like the day-to-day stuff that Chisato does, rather than staying in like dorms basically for most of your life and then every so often going on like a mission like killing people.
I think it's more like the importance of routine. Like you're so used to doing it this way that it's just hard to break that habit.
Sure. Yeah. That's fair. I also like the like VR video game match that they had against each other. They did like a little rematch for 2-on-2,
dude, I hate that name.
It's the name. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Do you remember? Oh, that's kind of how it ended, right? With like the green-haired guy doing the talking to Roboto. I think that was the end of episode 4. So yeah. I mean, like you said, I do like the slice of life stuff too. We'll probably see more of that next couple episodes. And I imagine we'll probably see more of what they're planning. We'll probably see what the green hair guy's doing, because he's playing something else big. But yeah, I'm not really sure what like the end goal of this show is. We're 4 episodes in. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, and I think honestly that's fine for right now because they're trying to build up for it, right? Like they're unraveling slowly.
I mean, there is.
Like we're getting there.
Have they unveiled? Have they unveiled a new radio tower yet? Isn't that like a event that's happening in the future?
I think so.
They mentioned that.
We're getting to wherever the end game is slowly and surely. They'll peel layers back and show more. What was it, 13 episodes? So we're only a third of the way in.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So then we move on to our other show, Rent a Girlfriend Season 2.
Oh boy.
Episodes 3 and 4. I don't remember what happened this time.
The first episode is trapped in a room with the main girl, whatever her name is, Chizuru, and then the second episode is trapped in a room with Ruka. I mean, third
That's
and
a good
fourth
description
episode.
of both of those.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, Ray, I'm gonna keep bringing this up
Mhm.
because I still don't understand. But like, why does mommy matter?
She
Like, I still
lives
don't.
rent free in the
From like
main character's head.
from just like a real person perspective.
I guess the
Like, I
voice
understand this
actor
is
is
an
kind of
anime,
cool,
so there's
but not in the. I don't know what to say. Like, I know it is VA. I'm pretty sure. This VA does. Yeah, this is like the Madoka VA. What does she voice? It's a known name.
But yeah, like I just don't understand why they care so much, because the whole reason why that scene was intense was because they were like, oof, can't have her know I'm up here. But again, I don't know why they care so much. I don't know why they're letting her be a part of this, you know? I mean, she already knows that she's a rental girlfriend. That was figured out last season. And like, I don't think Kazuya is trying to get back together with her, so I don't know why there's so much sneaking around. Other than maybe just to save her feelings, but like me and you talked about last time, she wasn't very nice to him anyways. I was like, what, like...
Dude, she's a cruel character.
Why is this so serious? What?
She's cruel, dude. Just awful, despicable, not really nice to anyone except for personal gain.
So it's like, why do they care? Like, just stop talking to her, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, the VA is a big VA. They're pretty popular. I mean, that's the reason I like the character. I don't know, in show. Definitely looking at this, I mean, they're quite big. Like, easy ones for you to grab on, maybe. It's like if you know, like, Seven Deadly Sins, they're the giant girl.
Mm-hmm.
And then they are also, it's in Madoka, but it's also, what's her name? Tatsumaki? Like the short green-haired sister from One Punch.
Sure, yeah.
And she's also the frog girl from My Hero.
Oh, nice, dude.
It's easy. I just gotta name people you know like that. Also, she's Tanya from Tanya the Evil.
Okay. That was a show that I don't think I finished. I think I should, though.
I mean, pretty well-known voice actor. They have other roles too, but I'm just not gonna name them because those are the ones I think that you'll get. You understand. You'll be like, yep, that's who that is. A nice little piece in your head.
Yeah, I got you.
That's pretty big. What is it? Yeah, Mommy's just awful. And like, she notices everything and then she's just gonna play him right now. She's like, yep, you say whatever you want to me. I know what you did. She's laser focused. She's insane. That level of attention to detail, she's like, you can look in her memory and she's like, I see the bag. I peeked it out. She's like from that episode of Black Mirror where you can like go through your memories and like look at the details.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Chizuru just stays with him for the night and he's like freaking out. And then Ruko just stays with him for the night and then he's freaking out. So they're pretty much the same episode played back and forth with two different girls.
So like, I don't know what her end game is though.
Mommy's end game is
Like,
make him like her again. Because she messed up.
out of spite?
Not out of spite. That was the entire plan from day one. Remember she broke up with him to try to make her be like, I'm sorry that we did this, can we get back together? Well, she never got that, so that's her entire...
I feel like there are better ways to go about this.
But this is Mommy we're talking about.
Yeah, that's fair.
Also, our main character's not really the best either, so like...
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like I was rooting for him a lot more in the first season.
Again, I feel like again, like him rooting for Chizuru for being like an actress is pretty good. And then after that, I'm like, I don't even know
Yeah.
where I like your character anymore. Like this is the only aspect I think I can really enjoy.
I mean, it's yeah, yeah. But I mean, even with that, it's like he's not doing a good job.
I guess the thing with Ruka there at the end was kind of nice, but I mean that's pity points really. Like you're doing good, but I feel like there's easier ways to do this. Like you can set boundaries before anything happens, instead of just
And like
having
they are actually supposed to be
to
together
worry
too.
about this all night.
Yeah, that's true.
This is the problem in like rom-com anime or like harem anime. I'm gonna call out a lot of these problems could just be fixed by talking to people, and people don't talk in anime.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, yeah, because like, I mean, like her like jumping him basically. It's like, dog, we could have just talked this out on her end, and then even with him, he was like super nervous the whole time, super paranoid, and it's like, dog, you can like, you guys are technically supposed to be like together. This isn't
You guys
fake.
are actual like girlfriend
You know?
and boyfriend. This is something you could talk about.
Yeah,
This is your relationship.
like you with Chizuru is fake.
That's just in your head,
You know?
my guy.
Yeah, exactly. She is like cunning though. She's definitely really trying to get her way. I like the very end of that episode where they left, or where she was leaving, and she was like yelling her goodbye to him because she knew that Chizuru would hear them. Thought that was really funny. And then you have Chizuru on the other side of the door. She was about to take her garbage out, and she's like, "Oh no, what did they do?" It's like nothing, but she's there. She was there. I mean, even like she said, that's still points for her. She got further than Chizuru ever did.
Yeah, Rent a
Even though
Girlfriend.
they did go to the
It
batting
is
cages.
half painful, half good. Like I can see what the intention is for these things, but I'm like, it just doesn't play out this way sometimes.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. The whole concept is ridiculous.
I think that's part of the beauty of it, though.
Yeah.
It's like my man had a rental girlfriend for a year. He was playing it off like it was his real girlfriend.
Which is crazy.
I mean, how much do you pay for that? Because like I think she's quite expensive actually. Like I think wasn't there like a point where he was eating just like ramen?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, doesn't he get his money from his family?
It's just awful.
Isn't that what happens? Because one thing I kind of did like was his like speech to her when at the end of episode 3, talking about how like Chizuru worked for everything and he's just kind of given a life almost, because he's like, when he gets older he's gonna inherit like his family's company, so everything is kind of set in stone. That's why he's like, oh, I feel like I'm not living up to expectations, whereas with you had to work for everything, so there really isn't any expectations.
Like she's making her future and he already has his for his.
Yeah, so he feels like he has to like earn that, even though he's gonna be given it anyway. Yeah, I think that's where he gets his money from. Like his family just owns a company and he gets like allowance or something. I mean, he does live by himself too, right?
Yeah.
So he doesn't have a job, I don't believe. Have we seen him work?
I think there may have been one episode of him working. Maybe. In like the first season.
Meanwhile,
like,
Chizuru is...
She's on the grind.
Yeah.
And he's paying it.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, he's funding her career. That may or may not happen. When do you think we're gonna see more of the other girl?
but we haven't seen the fourth girl. Maybe next episode. Probably not, because they teased like a Power Rangers TV show thing, which I'm assuming Cheezer is going to be acting in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
So maybe the next episode.
One thing I do like about this, I don't think they're the first show to do this, but I do like how they do the previews for the next episode. How they're like in character, but the characters are aware
That they're in a TV show.
It's very like fourth wall breaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's neat.
I do like to watch the previews for these as they come up, because I'm like, it's a little fun when they do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, usually I don't watch previews for next episodes. I also don't want to get spoiled for stuff,
I mean, to bring up
But that
She-Hulk,
works.
I think I have watched previews for the next episodes because they do have like extended scenes or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. They do. Yeah, I think Lycoris Recoil, fantastic show, right? I think
Wonderful.
I think that one could be, to me, I think that one could get up there in terms of best or favorite seasonal shows we've ever covered on here.
Okay.
Rent a Girlfriend, not terrible. Not the worst
it's
show
not
we've covered.
awful.
Like Rent a Girlfriend season 2. Yeah, it's not the worst one we've done.
Like
It's not boring, I'll say.
it's, you look at it and you're like, man, this is just going some way today, ain't it? That's just,
It's just a train wreck.
like, it's just, this is what's happening.
But we also have other anime to talk about, Ray.
Oh yes.
Not ones that we're watching though. Well, we might be. I don't know if you're watching any of this stuff currently. But I'm gonna send you a link, Ray, because this is how I want to do this. I think it could be fun.
Ooh,
I don't know
I'm
if
being
you've
sent a link. I got a link.
Yeah, it's in your message. Because we did. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm gonna grab this real quick.
Whoa. He's
Okay.
moving.
We did
Oh,
a.
I've seen these lists
Doing.
before, but I have no idea I had no idea where they got them. Okay.
Yeah. So me and Rayman are currently doing a anime fantasy draft, kind of like a beta test almost, because it's kind of a shortened season because of where we started. Basically, me and Ray went on our first episode back, so 2 episodes ago. We picked a bunch of shows that are airing this season. Mostly no rules, except for we didn't do like long running shows. Like we didn't do like One Piece or anything like that. But we went back and forth, picked a bunch of shows, and we want them to do very well, specifically on my anime list, which is a website where people add shows to their personal lists and they rank them and discuss them and all that stuff. And by the end of the season, they're all going to have a score, a user score, and if they do well, you get points. If they don't do well, you lose points. That's the gist of it. I wanted to do a check-in this episode, probably the only check-in before the end of the season, because end of the season is in like a month. I just kind of want to see where stuff is going. I don't want to check my anime list though, because I don't want us to like subconsciously start doing mental math to see like who's in the lead, because I don't know. I just want it to be more of a surprise. So instead, we're gonna check in on a website called Anatrends, and they're responsible for, like Ray just mentioned, every week they have like a user generated list. Usually the top 10, but I think you can see the other ones too, like further than 10.
Yeah.
But they have like a top 10 list of
I
what
just
is
checked,
trending.
so like
what
I got I'll send you the link actually. So this is like the week 7 list. When it has like the top, scrolling down, top 42 on here.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if everything's on this list, but this should be most of it. It's gonna be the same linkish. Just a bit different, just a wee bit different.
And so, yeah, so I wanted to check Anatrends because you can't do like the mental math to see who's winning, but it still is a pretty good indicator of like where the shows are at. They're probably pretty similar to where my anime list is.
One thing I do see here is or we should do week 6 actually instead of week 7, because week 7 is still being done right now.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, because we're voting for week 7 basically.
Yeah, so let's look at week 6.
Yeah, right. I figured we kind of go through this real quick, remind people of our picks, maybe.
I'd love for you to remind me of my picks.
Surprises. Okay, right, because you don't have the list.
Actually, do I have it listed down here in the notes and the actual thing? I have them here somewhere. I do not.
Ooh, not on the shared thing. No way. I'll just read them off then. Right? So my picks, for a reminder for everyone, including Ray. So I picked, and there's I'm not gonna do it. Whatever, doesn't matter. So I picked Overlord season 4, Main Abyss season 2. I forgot I picked that. Lycoris Recoil, Cyberpunk Edgerunners, Ruby Ice Queendom, and then we did a couple movies. So I got the One Piece film Red, Surene Moon. Is that what I wrote? Moon, I think. And then I'll talk about that after. So those are the main picks, 7 picks, and then Rayman has a run pick of Girls in a Dungeon season 4, Shadow's House season 2, Isekai Oji-san, When Will Ayumu Make His Move? We got Futo PI, SAO Progressive Movie, and Tunnel to Summer. Those are the picks that we think hopefully will do very well for each of our respective teams. And then I also had an opposite pick, one that I think Ray, or hoping on Ray's list, does not well, which is the SAO Progressive Movie.
Yeah.
And then Rayman hopes that Ruby Ice Queendom does not do well on my list. And then we had a gold star. Gold star basically doubles the points, and I put my gold star on Cyberpunk, hoping that can get me some points. And then Ray starred Futo PI. So yeah, we are like Ray just mentioned, we're about 7 weeks. We're coming up on about 7 weeks in, about a month left of the whole thing. So you wanna go through the Anitrends list, Ray? Since you have it up,
I do have the list of Anitrends. So coming in at number 1, we have Lycoris Recoil.
Yeah. Expected.
Call Deny, Class from the Elite, Summertime Rendering. Shadow's House coming in at number 4. Maiden Abyss coming in at number 5. What else we got here? Overlord at number 9. Pickup Girls number 10. Was Yakuza Guide to Babysitting on there?
Nah.
Okay. Number 12, Uncle from Another World. 13, When Will Ayumu Make His Move? 14, Ruby Ice Queendom. Anything else on that list there that I'm missing?
Where's Futo?
Futo is
Futo PI.
23.
Okay.
Is that the last one there?
So we have a nice mix. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, you nailed them all. Yeah, we have a nice mix there. Some of ours are high, some of ours are pretty low. This also doesn't mention movies, just a heads up to everyone as well. Although I guess if the movie's out, you can just look at my anime list and see what score I got. But yeah, I think it's still pretty contentious though.
I think we're pretty good. I mean, like, all of them are in the top 23, including Futo PI being at the very end.
Yeah. And that's out of 14 total shows.
You
know, it's like 14 mixed in with 23. That's about every other.
Yeah.
You know, every other show, just about.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think that's a pretty good mix. And there's also, like I said, like 4 or 5 weeks left. So anything could happen. Anything could rise.
Lycoris Recoil could actually bomb on the last episode and just go straight. Man.
I hope it doesn't. I really hope it doesn't. Not only for my fantasy, but also for like our.
It's a good show. I like it right
Like
now,
our-
so I just hope it doesn't jump
yeah,
on.
it's,
Enjoy it a lot.
How many shows have we covered that have done that, do you think?
What's the list?
Because here's the thing, Ray. This show, do you know what the show reminds me of? Show reminds me of Wonder Egg Priority. Personally loved Wonder Egg Priority.
Okay. Wonder Egg
And
Priority
to
was
me-
perfect. I don't know what you're talking about. It was because we went to watch the OVA.
Exactly. Right, yeah, which is what I was gonna mention, where it's like if you're talking about season one, you cannot complain about season one. The OVA is where it went off the rails. Not only because half of it was recap, but because the second half was just weird and didn't really make you excited for a season 2, you know? Whereas like, I mean, I think we felt pretty similar about that show, where it was like after episode 12 or whatever, it was like, oh yeah, let's get a season 2. You know, it's a original, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, I hope the show
It felt good.
did well. Yeah, and then episode OVA was like, you know, maybe you can go back to the drawing board and just, you know, kind of rework what your plans were for season 2.
It's like there was like some
it's not
issues
happening.
I think in the last episode, like very minor issues, but most of the last episode was pretty good because they didn't go hunting at all like they normally would. I think for last one it was just like the aftermath of everything that happened.
Right.
Because we had like the one girl who was like force
seeming...
fed the lizard, and then that was just.
Oh man, that was a scene.
That
man.
was oh.
But like it was doing such a good job of like opening up the world, of, like what this could really be, you know.
It's
like
quite interesting.
I don't know. Yeah.
Because like we had like the gang and they were all together for episode 11, and episode 12 comes in and it's like, oh no, they're all separated now. They all don't really like, no one wants to do this anymore.
Right.
It didn't feel like Madoka, because Madoka, I think every character is just broken completely. Here it's like they just accomplished their goals, you know, and one's like, I don't want to do it anymore, my goal's accomplished, but it's just awful. The other one's like disappeared. One of them is like, well, they can't fight anymore because their thing died, so they're like just angry. And then the main character is like, well, I have no choice but to go back in, even though I'm already done. I think that sums it up.
Did you ever go back to Violet Evergarden after we watched it?
I didn't know. I feel like Violet Evergarden, the problem was that it felt slow to get there. But I think on a rewatch it may be better for us.
Okay, so I just want to let you know that I asked you that specifically because I know. So, for anyone who doesn't know, which is everyone who's listening to this most likely, me and Ray, way back when, one of our seasonal shows that we did was Violet Evergarden, right? So it was like, oh, this is looking pretty good. I think Ray, you're the one that pushed for it a little bit, just because you heard like it was supposed to be like beautiful or something. Like it was.
Yeah,
like,
it was pretty well animated, and not wrong. It may have some of the best animation still for like even newer anime.
Absolutely.
Okay, just there was a lot of water.
So I was like, okay, yeah, let's do Violet Evergarden. I didn't really know anything about it. The like promotional videos look good and whatever. And I remember we watched it, and I don't think either of us really dug it that much. You know, kind of like you said, it was kind of slow to get into, and then even a lot of the meat, just didn't really care about it all that much. You know, like it was a fine story. But when did that come out? That was like 4 years ago.
And then they
like
had the OVA in the movie. We haven't seen those though, have we?
OVA in the movie? No. But I'll let you know, Ray, I have revisited Violet Evergarden since. I've rewatched it because it's one of those shows that people have talked about that they say is like a masterpiece, and I'm sitting over here like, that show is not a masterpiece. What are you talking about? And why does everyone like it? But then more people talk about it, it's like it sounds like a show that I should like. So revisited it like a year ago. Absolutely a 10 out of 10.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Like
it was just in the moment, because we're imagine that we're watching that week to week, right? How that feels, how that must go for.
That's probably what it was. Yeah, that's probably what it was, because I think when I rewatched it, I watched it in like 2 chunks, like 6 episodes one day, 6 episodes another day. Oh, dude, Incredible, absolutely incredible.
Okay, that's exactly
I
it
mean,
then. It's got to be the pacing. It felt too small, whatever they were feeding you for like 30 minutes.
Mhm.
And then you have to wait a week.
And like there is
Right.
some like there is some intricate storytelling in that show too that I think if you watch it week to week you don't remember everything, so you don't really appreciate what they're telling you.
There's like subtle relationship stuff
You know what I mean?
happening, and you just kind of have to piece it together before they show it to you.
Mhm.
And when they show it to you, you're like,
Mhm.
was I actually paying attention to this? Because that's kind of subplotty. You know what I mean? They don't really kind of show that up in the foreground. Because it's
Right.
one of those problems of the week type shows where you watch the problem get fixed. So all that stuff is kind of in the foreground for you.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? Am I describing it correctly from memory?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah. No, you got it. You got it. I mean, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't call it quite as episodic as that. I think the problems stretch out a little further than that, but no, yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, there's a lot happening, and if you don't pay attention to everything, you're kind of just gonna get the surface level story, which is good, but you have to get everything. Like you really have to. It's one of those shows you have to pay attention to the whole way through. You know, because then there's other shows you watch that you can kind of be on your phone for, and still get everything. You don't really have to pay attention to it too much. But Violet Evergarden is not one of those shows. Like you really have to. It makes you think.
It's good.
So I have a cool question for you, Ray. I saw that they're coming out with a spin-off of Konosuba. Is that separate from season 3?
Is this just following like Megumin? It may be. I heard there's
Yeah,
like the
and
Megumin
the
spin-off.
other girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's separate from a season 3 that we're getting.
Yes.
You didn't say that with a lot of confidence.
I believe it's separate. Because I don't think have they announced
Okay.
season 3 already? Because I know this is supposed to be a spin-off, so I know it's not supposed to be season 3.
Yeah, that was like...
Because season
That was
3
like a
is
year
just going
ago,
to
I think.
solidify more of what's happening.
Right.
Where they just accidentally beat another
Okay.
demon lord.
'Cause yeah, it was like a year ago that they said season 3 is coming out, and that was like, oh my god, it's crazy. And then I heard recently about this spin-off that's happening, and I got confused. I was like, oh, is that... So was it not a season 3? Was it just the next installment, and we just assumed it was season 3?
I mean, Konosuba has a lot of stuff going, I'll be honest. Because they had the movie. They also do like... they were part of that one chibi art show, which had like all the isekai guys together.
Yep, you're correct.
They got their mobile
Don't
game or
remember what it's
whatever.
called,
They got
but-
a lot of their hands in a lot of stuff going on, actually. And then like any like game collabs or whatever, they also do stuff with. So like, I mean, it's a lot of things happening.
Right. But yeah, so that's the anime stuff. Make sure to watch 5 and 6 5 and 6 of the Lycoris Recoil Run to Girlfriend season 2. We're gonna get there. It's gonna be a good time.
That'll be our halfway point.
So next, that is true. Yeah. Dude, and I looked at what next season's anime. It's mostly sequels and like a couple adaptations. That's like pretty much what fall 2022 is.
Just open them out real quick just to confirm that.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean
There's
okay.
a couple other. I mean, there's
So like what you got?
obviously
like,
other shows, but
like what's the big ones? Chainsaw Man. Blue Lock, whatever that one is, the football or soccer one. It's Shadows. Oh yeah, well we're getting the Urusei Yatsura remake. That could be fun.
Yeah.
What was it? Fun fact, actually, because I know you don't know actually. Urusei Yatsura is Michael's favorite anime.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's cool.
And I'm not sure if I've mentioned it before, but this is made by the same person who wrote Inuyasha.
Ah, yes.
So like this was her first
Classic.
breakout work was Urusei Yatsura. This is what launched her career. Was this.
Mm.
So I'm pretty sure this remake is supposed to be the best of episodes and skits that they've had, as well as telling like the general story. But it was more like a gag type of romance comedy anime. So this is going to be mostly a collection of their best ofs. It's not going to be the full length.
I had a
It's going to be long though. We're not going to watch it on this because it's like 40 something episodes.
right. Yeah. Yeah, I did see that.
It's a fun one.
I had a moment that I had my like manga moment where I saw a manga being adapted this season that I read, and I was like, oh, that's nice. It was like I don't know the name of it, Ray. It's the one. I don't know if it's one that you recommended me or not. It most likely is because you're where I get all my manga from.
Thanks.
But it's the one where it's in a school and these two characters, or not the two characters, but like there's this like couples program in school where all the kids have to like pair up basically and like learn how to be adults, learn how to live an adult life and go to a job and whatever, I don't know. And these two characters get paired up that do not like each other. They want to get separated because they each have a person that they want to be with. But then as the manga goes on, they start to like each other. It's like, oh man, what's their decision going to be? They're going to go after the person that they know they like, or are they going to confess feelings to each other? It's very nice. It's a very nice, very like popcorny story. But yeah, I had that moment where I saw it's getting adapted this season. I'm like, oh, that's neat. I don't know if I'll watch it, but I also don't know people will like it. But it's not like a Spy Family, where Spy Family's an instant win, or a Chainsaw Man,
I'm actually
Chainsaw Man has like
What
was that?
This one here? Let me see, I found it. It's like Fufu Ijo Koibito Miman.
Yep, I think that's it.
In a married couple, but not lovers.
Yep. Sounds like it. Yeah, it's pretty low on the list, so people aren't really. Again, like I said, it's not like a Spy Family or a Chainsaw Man where 500,000 people are gonna add it to their list.
Let me check my manga app and see if it's actually on there. 'Cause oh gosh, there's too much. There's too much. Like it's been a while. This must have been an old recommendation for anything. Oh dude.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it was old.
Well, actually, I don't think it's actually on here.
I mean, it's not one of my like. It's probably pretty low on my. If I were to make like a master list of like me ranking the manga I've read, it's probably pretty low, but it's still a cool story, I mean, it's one of those just like classic like rom-com type deals.
I don't think it's me.
Ooh, it was just me.
Do not think
I'm
it's
a genius.
me.
That was probably me just searching up like romance, like best rom-com to read. And just finding
it definitely was a newer one that came out a couple years ago. I say couple, but that's like 4 years ago now.
Yeah. Yeah, but then you didn't even mention any of the sequels either, like Mob Psycho.
Yeah, I was ignoring them on purpose.
Eternity.
Yeah, Mob Psycho, To Your Eternity,
like,
Bleach, My Hero, Spy Family, Uzaki, anything else here that's kind of easy to name here? Golden Kamui, which is really good, by the way.
Yeah, I keep meaning to get to it. Yeah, so I think Fantasy Draft next season is going to be very interesting. But I don't know how our actual.
I want to say Fantasy Draft. I want to say no Chainsaw Man, no sequels, and see how far we get.
that would be difficult. But yeah, that's just something.
Because
I
I'm
looked
just
at
imagining
today.
like top picks right now are like Chainsaw Man, Mob Psycho, To Your Eternity, and Bleach, or like insane picks, just like off the top. We wouldn't even pick.
Not Spy
You
Family.
can't pick Bleach. Spy Family as well. You can't pick Bleach because it's gonna be like whatever how many episodes. But those 4 already are like kind of insane. You're coming out swinging.
Why are you disrespecting My Hero?
Because My Hero's gonna be longer than whatever.
My Hero's good.
I'm gonna trash on My Hero a
Oh, it
little
is.
bit. I'm gonna trash on that bit. I have my own problems with My Hero. I'm sorry. It's gonna get me canceled. I have my own
I feel
problems.
no, I mean, I don't really care for My Hero anymore. I mean, it's one of those shows that I think started off really strong, but like last season, I think I watched last season, but I didn't care about anything that happened.
It's like the problem is
I was
that
like,
you know, for me, it has an amazing premise and how it starts off, but the world doesn't actually go into that. Like me with my world building philosophy. You start off this cool way of having this disparity between people with powers, people without powers. Then you have this cool, interesting idea with the heroes where they're not really they're fully trying to help people, but they're not really doing it just to help you. It's more like of a way to be popular and a way to get money, but that's not really explored except maybe through like a couple one-dimensional characters, and even then it's not really touched upon ever more than that. And then there's still that power and no power dynamic that's never really touched on other than like the first couple episodes of like Bakugo, and it's never really looked at ever again.
I mean, like even like some of the last stuff that I watched was them still in school and they did like drills against each other, like 3-on-3 drills or something, which was like fun to watch. But like, why does like I'm all for like the tournament arcs and like watching people train and get better, learning new moves, learn how to work with each other and stuff. But it gets to a certain point where it's like, where's this going? What is the story here? Because like even I'm gonna have a very unfair comparison, but I'm gonna compare it to Naruto,
I knew it was
right?
gonna
Where it's
come
like
up.
even when they
Yeah.
were training, even when they were training in school, there was still other like plot lines. Like even with like during the tuning exams.
Yeah, there
which
was stuff
people
happening
say-
behind the
many
scenes in the
people-
tuning exam, or even in the fight that was just on
Yeah. With like Orochimaru in the background, like he didn't show up every episode, obviously, but you knew he was scheming something. You knew something was happening.
Or like
right?
they show him real
And so
quick and
that-
he's doing something.
Exactly.
But like it's showing
yeah,
the
and, like,
sand
he
village what
showed
they're
up-
doing real quick, and you're like, dude,
Yeah.
like you don't know,
And
but you're
even,
like
like, the
you're like
introduction-
something's happening here and it's gonna pop.
Even with the introduction of the sound village, it's like there's just little things that they all add up to something other than what's happening in front of you is building. With My Hero, it's like we've seen All For One show up a few times, and like we know that the guy with the face hands, like he's scheming, but like at least me, like I don't really care. So like right now all the show is for me is the kids kind of learning stuff, which is just okay. Like yeah, I mean I guess I kind of agree with what you said, but like I'll word it in a way that I don't think My Hero has any depth to its story. I think it's just stuff is just kind of happening. It feels like they're making it up as it goes along. Whereas something like Naruto, which isn't really fair because Naruto is, one of the greats, but it always felt like there was layers to everything that was happening.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
My Hero's problem was that like it did start really strong, and it just wasn't able to keep up with it.
Mm-hmm.
I do think after this arc and maybe 6th season or 7th season, it does kind of bend back. But I've heard from a lot of people after that, because I was reading during that time, but I stopped as well, so I was feeling it go back down. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it just turned into one of those shows that I don't look forward to anymore. Whereas at one point I did. I was like, ooh, new season of My Hero, can't wait. And now it's like, I'll get to it.
Like things I'm excited for next season. Chainsaw Man, obviously. I'm gonna watch the heck out of Mob Psycho when that drops.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but I like Mob
I
Psycho
think
way more than One Punch.
um that's not true for me. However, I want to give it another shot because I've only seen My Hero, or not My Hero. I've only seen Mob Psycho season 1, and I feel like it was good, but One Punch Man just hit more for me.
Mhm.
I haven't seen season 2 yet though, so I do want to watch that because season 3, one of the very intriguing things is, I think season 3 is the one that they came out and said that, or was it season 4? I think it's season 3. They said that the whole thing is traditionally animated. There isn't a single frame that isn't that's crazy that a show can exist with no CGI, no 3D at all, and especially a show like that like there's crazy special effects. That's kind of the whole
I think
catch
Mob
of the
can
show.
allow it though. Like it's not like it's polished to a point where it's abusing its art style because it looks so simple. It's like we
Yeah.
have it on a surface level look like really dull, but then when it goes right into action, it just flips out of control.
I think that's just it just shows like the creativity of the style of the show, because it works, with the whole like psychic stuff. Like visually it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
For it to be kind of messy and kind of, it just gives out that effect.
Super good, man. Super good stuff.
Yeah, so now Ray, and this is something I'm coming in a little hot, Ray. Coming in a little hot with this because we're gonna talk about Face Off, okay? Second movie of our Nicolas Cage 3-pack. All right. So Rayman has already seen this. This is at least your second time watching this. This is my first time. Okay. So I'm just gonna get into it. All right. The thing that makes me the most upset with this movie, and this movie, I was really close to texting you at one point and being like, this movie might be worse than Pig. like I might be more upset at this movie than I was at Pig.
But did you see the dubs though?
You're gonna have to remind me what that is.
They come up at the church.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, you're right.
John Woo and his dubs. It's the shovel man.
This man. The thing that makes me most upset, right, with this movie is the very ending. Okay. The very end, right? So, I'm gonna get into it. So, this man, what is his name? What's the main character's name? Sean, right?
Yeah, Sean Archer. Because I'm looking at the Wikipedia.
So Sean
name.
comes back, right?
Names.
First off, right? His wife sees his silhouette walking on the porch, and she's like, mystified. And I'm like, what are you so, like, you knew that he lived, you know that's him, like, there's like a little twinkle in her eye of like, oh man, I hope that's Sean and that's not the other guy. It's like, what do you mean? That doesn't make any sense to me. And then he comes in, and it's all happy, it's great, right? Reunion, they're hugging, the girl doesn't have like the, she looks normal, she's back to herself, she's not wearing crazy clothes or anything, so it's like, oh, she learned something. And then this man is like, hey, I got a surprise. And he brings in this dude's Castor, right? He brings in Castor's kid, his actual blood kid. And he's like, hey man, I want you to meet Adam. And the wife is like, yeah, okay, we're gonna raise this child. I have so many questions, Ray. So like, first off, the kid's parents are dead, right?
Yeah.
Castor and the wife both died, right? So it's an orphan, okay? That's crazy. Second, how did you get this kid? Did you just scoop him up? Did you kill people to get to this kid? Did you adopt him from an orphanage? Like, how did that come about?
Dude,
you know what I mean? How did that happen?
It was in the contract that after he kills Castor, he gets his first blood.
He gets the first blood? He's like Rumpelstiltskin. And then Ray, okay, have you ever seen, I'm sure you have, you know how there's commercials during Christmas, right? During Christmas time?
Yeah.
And the same car commercials always play, where it's like, hey honey, I got a present for you. And they walk outside and there's just a new car with like a bow on it. And it's like, oh, it's really sweet. But like, like in real life,
No one does that.
you can't just buy, yeah, mostly for the fact that you can't, right? Like you can't just buy a car without your significant other's discretion. Like that's like a huge purchase, right? You know, that'd be,
It's like, dude, they
that's not a
check their
good
credit.
financial
They're like,
relationship.
I saw like $30,000 just go away from my bank account.
Strange.
We gotta call the
my
bank
credit
and tell
score
them to
dropped.
close the card. We gotta close my line of credit.
The reason I bring that up is like, could you imagine you having a wife, right? And you just bring home like a 5-year-old child.
He's out there in the snow. It's like snowing, and he's got like the bow on his head. It's like, honey, look what I got you. It's like, oh, sweet. He's like blue in the face. He's just so cold.
It's like that it's like that old like Campbell's soup commercial where like a snowman comes into the home and they drink soup and it's ice and the snow melts and it's like a child. You ever see that commercial?
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say the other Campbell soup commercial where like the can just keeps following you, so like they left the kid somewhere else and he just came back to the house. Like they blindfold him and then like drive
remember
him
that
off
too.
and then he's just back there and they're like, oh, why can't we get rid of you?
Oh my
I went to
God.
the other ad, I'm sorry, but yeah, I saw the snowman one. That was also a good one.
And they don't talk about it. Like she doesn't ask where the kid came. That's the crazy part, right? It's like Sean knows who this kid is, right? And we had the scene with him
Honey,
where the mom is like there, and then he's like, he starts
this is the child I
crying about
fathered
his
like how many
actual
years
son's
ago when I was unfaithful to our marriage.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's from the
but it's just like they don't have a conversation about it. She has no idea the connection to this kid, and she just says yes, we will raise this child as if our own. He will be our next heir. It's like what like the ending, right? Like come on, like what I don't understand why that was necessary. What lesson did Sean learn that it makes sense for him to raise Castor's kid?
not really that, but I mean, he may have learned a couple things about peaches.
That is true, yeah.
That's one of the funniest lines in the movie.
Because that's,
Man, I just love a peach. I could eat a
It's just-
peach for hours.
it just doesn't make sense. Like I understand what they were going for, but like I don't like it.
No,
You really don't like, until Sean becomes Nicolas Cage. I really didn't like Nicolas Cage's character for the first like 20 minutes. I was like, I hope this guy dies.
Dude, they
He's
do
not
such
he's
a
not
great
nice
job
dude.
of making him a creep. It's so good. Okay, and then like I also love
He did.
that this movie like has John Travolta acting as Nicolas Cage acting as John Travolta, and the other way around. That's
Yeah, it does happen. Yeah. I don't know, right? This movie's ridiculous. It was also, this movie's also way too long. It's like a 2.5
yeah,
hour
it's a
movie.
2-hour movie. Yeah. What is it? Oh,
Too long.
like this movie, I have to tell you, was revolutionary when it came out. This was like, dude, no one's
Just
ever
because of the
decided to act as
idea?
another guy and then have the other guy act as that guy.
Okay.
And then it's like, you got John Travolta and Nick Cage, so you got like two big guys coming out your movie. You're like, whoa, whoa. And he's like, I'm gonna cut his face off. Dude, the marketing was insane.
What year did Freaky Friday come out? Because in my opinion, Ray, Freaky Friday better than this. The Freaky Friday remake better than this.
I didn't see the Freaky Friday remake.
Do you remember The Parent Trap?
I like The Parent Trap, actually. Freaky Friday came out in 1976, the original one. Is that what we're talking about?
And when did Face Off come out?
Face Off was out
1988 or something?
1997, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so tell me why this movie was revolutionary?
Well, hold on. You see. The difference is that these are, like, look at this, dude. Mother and daughter have their personalities switched to live with each other's lives on one strange Friday. It's a one crazy day. Crazy. I like the 2003 Freaky Friday. Just because I like Jamie Lee Curtis a bit more, honestly. Also has Lindsay Lohan, and Mark Harmon? Dude, Mark Harmon was in this movie? Let's go. My hours of watching NCIS have not been wasted. It's okay though, Parent Trap is pretty good. Who was in Parent Trap? Dennis Quaid? Okay. Obviously Lindsay Lohan. Yo, they got Simon Kunz? This guy was a savage. And Ronnie Stevens? I gotta get out of here. Let me get distracted off that. Yeah, Face Off though. It was revolutionary research, dude. They had to artificially change the guy's face and transplant it on. Twice.
But that's in movie. Like, you don't get credit. You don't get credit for making fake science. The plot of your film was done 20 years prior.
Oh, I do admit it doesn't age that well, but like when this came out, it was like, whoa, dude.
Also, like, just the fact that she's like, hey, I don't believe you. I don't believe that you're Sean. And then she takes a blood sample and it's like, must be Sean. Must be him. It's like, I feel like it could be someone else though. I feel like it could be, you know, like I get it where like he talked about some things, but it's like, so just like everyone else believes you now? No one else wanted extra evidence. They're just like, the wife believes it. We'll take her word for it.
What was next on the
you know
the Nick Cage movie list? I just want to know. What was the next one?
It was like the newer film that like just came out.
Oh, Unbearable.
Like the Marvelous Misadventures. Yeah, there we go.
Because like this movie came out when it was with the 3 bigger Nick Cage movies at the time. It was this, it was Con Air, and it was The Rock. The Rock is pretty good. That's the like.
Is it pretty good? Just like Face Off is pretty good.
The Rock is like a. Excuse me. Got hiccups.
That's how you know a movie's good.
The Rock is like what is considered a potential sequel to the Sean Connery James Bond series. There's like so much theories behind The Rock, and it's done pretty well. You got Sean Connery and Nick Cage. I forgot the guy who's like the military general who's like going rogue. Con Air is a fun time. It's not like Con Air is not a good movie. It's a fun movie. Like, yeah, you know, Rock, you got Jerry Bruckheimer and Michael Bay, the 2 greatest minds in filmmaking.
Oh. I don't know, Ray. I really hope next week. Next week's movie better be better than these two.
Well,
Let me tell you.
The Unbearable Weight's supposed to be like a weird meta movie. It's like, this is Nick Cage, the actor, acting as himself.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Yeah. Which I'm okay with. That sounds fun.
There's an adaptation of Face Off?
Also, like, why does he do the hand thing? Like, I don't understand it. It's just like a weird. Like, why are you touching people's faces all the time? I don't understand how that's like an expression of affection. It's weird. and like it only exists because this movie is Face Off.
Yes.
They're like, oh, we gotta have a character where he has this weird quirk.
So reasons to like Con Air. I'll name a couple. Okay, you got John Cusack and John Malkovich in this movie. John Malkovich carries a huge amount of this movie for Con Air. And fun fact, it also has Dave Chappelle and Steve Buscemi and Danny Trejo also in this movie. Oh, and Ving Rhames. It's just a fun movie, Con Air. Con Air's just fun.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
It's like it's not a good movie. It's probably better than Face Off, honestly. But it's
Oh, that's a high bar, Ray. You better take that back.
It's like I think both of these are better. Con Air and The Rock are better than Face Off, just because like I guess the cast is like much more there. Like Con Air is the entire gimmick of Con Air is you got all these like criminals on this plane that they're flying, and then like they're basically they're trying to take over the plane. And then Nick Cage is like an undercover cop on the plane. And there's the one scene when he enters the plane and it's like his hair is super long and it's waving in the wind, and he's like, oh, like that. Except his hair is like ridiculously long.
Ah, yes. Before the haircut.
Mm-hmm. And then Con Air's, like it's like a spy type of slash, not heist movie, but like a thriller. This movie's compared to like this is like a week. This is really a thriller. Come on, what is this? Where's the thrill in this? There's no like The Rock has like huge, crazy nuclear, I don't know, it's nuclear biochemical terrorist attacks, and then like it's Sean Connery and Nick Cage got to work together to stop it. And Sean Connery's there the entire time like, I'm Sean Connery. Sean Connery, as he says in his voice. Sean Connery. Is that a good impression? I think it's pretty awful.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. I feel like we'll have to pay him now because his likeness.
Sean Connery.
Yeah. So what's the full name of the movie we're doing next week?
Like The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is what I think the name is.
I see.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right.
It's the meta movie.
We're covering
meta. I forget, someone's in there that I actually like. I forget the other actor's name. I quite enjoyed him.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yes. Scroll down to find Nicolas Cage filmography. Vampire's Kiss is an adventure. Dude. I've seen a lot of Nick Cage movies. Not all of them, just a good amount. Variable with the massive talent has acting alongside him Pedro Pascal.
Ooh. That's Joel.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Ooh.
Tiffany Haddish. I don't know any of these other people here off the top of my head. So I will end it there.
Okay. And that'll be the end of our Nick Cage thing, so we'll have to do a new grouping after that. So that'll be fun. And yeah. So next, Ray, we got the MCU stuff. We got some actual content to talk about this week. She-Hulk. She-Hulk is out. First and second episode we're covering. That is what is out at the time of us recording this. Do you want to go or you want me to go, Ray?
I'll go. I'll start. I honestly have nothing special to say about the She-Hulk episodes. They are literally just getting us into She-Hulk. That is all.
Okay.
I have nothing to complain about or like or hate at this point that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay. I might be a little more up on the show than you. I really like what they're doing. It's more of a sitcom. more than any other show. I mean, not only because of the formatting, it's only 30-minute episodes rather than like 40, 50. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I like more so how just more fun this is. You know, I think that, and this is actually a question I wanted to ask you, right? Because it got brought up because the show exists. You know, I think the show is very fun, comedy, of course. I did see people more of like the MCU fatigue, where it's like, does every story have to be a comedy, right? Everything has to be comedic, everything has to be quips, every character has to have those kind of traits, you know, because I was seeing that a lot. I don't disagree that I think the MCU is very quippy in its writing. Doesn't matter who touches it. You can even look at Multiverse of Madness, and you know, there is that, you know, sort of comedic edge there. And I think it's fine for the MCU to have a through line like that, but I don't think She-Hulk is the correct show to complain about with that, because She-Hulk is built to be a show that has that.
That makes
you
sense.
know, like, it's literally,
it's fourth wall breaking.
yeah, it's breaking the fourth wall. It's literally billed as a sitcom. The other shows weren't. No other movie has been like that. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I'll tack on there for you, where like these are supposed to be kind of like pushing at the comics. The comics always have like a quick one or two lines that are kind of funny or janky as you go through. Yeah, like the tone of like the entire thing may be serious, but they always have like a throwaway thing that they always do, like real quick, even if it's just certain characters saying them. Like always, you know, obviously, like, you know, your Spider-Mans and Deadpool's always, you know, throwing out these lines. Heck, even Wolverine could have like a really funny comeback one time, and they just go with it, and they act like, you know, they continue like nothing ever happens, and that's how it goes in the comics. So, or like if you look at DC, even Batman will have like some stupid, like straightforward punchline for something, you know, and then everyone will just look at him and all real quick, and they just continue like nothing happens afterwards.
Yeah, and I mean, I get it. I mean, I don't disagree with that. I mean, I definitely don't agree that I think every character is becoming the same character. Like, I don't think Bruce talks to people the same way Tony talked to people, you know? Like, I think they still make jokes, but I still think they are different enough that they are different characters.
Like,
you know?
Tony had this type of condescending void to him.
Yeah. Whereas, like, even in this show, like, the jokes or the jabs that Bruce has, like, he has them because he's talking to his cousin.
Yeah,
that they were obviously
family,
at one point,
you know?
very close with each other. Yeah, so that's kind of what you do. Like, you make dumb jokes, and you know, he calls her fuzzball, which I think is very endearing. You know, like, it's just, I don't know, it's just, you know, I'm okay with that. You know, I don't know. It's just, there's something I wanted to bring up because I think I saw a lot of discourse over that, and while I think a lot of that is true, that some stuff might be melding together a little too much, I think that's also a product of there being 4 movies a year and 5 shows a year. I think it's just tough to differentiate, you know. While I think we are expected to watch everything, you don't have to. You know, you don't have to watch every movie that comes out, every show that comes out, you know. I think that's just kind of the world that the MCU has built. You know. But let's see, what else do we have? What do you think about I mean, I guess we'll just go to the end because I think that's actually like a compelling thing. I think, like you said, the first episode is just kind of her becoming She-Hulk, Bruce teaching her, that sort of thing.
And then the She-Hulk reveal at the end.
Origin story. Yeah, She-Hulk reveal.
Well, for the world, really, but yeah.
But the second episode ends with Abomination breaking out. So this is what I was excited to talk to you about this because there's a timeline I want to straighten out.
So this happens during Shang-Chi. Or like,
sure, yeah, because we saw
before / during
him in the Fight Club.
Yeah.
But the question is, how did Abomination break out? Because I'm not saying it's impossible, right? Because Abomination, if he was on the same level as Hulk, Hulk could probably break out of almost anywhere, right? But how though? Because do you believe that the man, I don't remember the man's name, but he was just talking to Jen yesterday about like wanting to go clean, like he's clean, he's made amends with everything, you know, he just wants to move on with his life, which, putting a pin in that, I think that's really interesting, that's kind of the hook, because it's like that's also what Jen is wanting to do, like Jen wants to move on from all of this. That was a nice way to kind of suck her in, I guess. But like we just talked about that, and then the next day Abomination breaks out. Like the timing of that is just really weird. That like, did he plan that? Like what was the point of going clean if it was just his decision to, I'm gonna break out tomorrow? And then you have the whole thing like you just mentioned with Shang-Chi. You mentioned the Fight Club, so we just saw that.
Wait, that's like miles away, my guy. He broke out in one day and went miles away.
Yeah, which brings up like, is that well, he has to be gone. Whether the Abomination that was fighting is him or not is irrelevant, because
he's disappeared.
I mean, if he was, yeah, like he's gone, you know. But still, it's like we know that Wong and him were buddies in Shang-Chi, or at least acquaintances of some sort. So it's like, has he been getting out and going to the fight clubs?
Like, is it Wong breaking him out regularly? Like every time? And
yeah.
Like getting back
is it
and then
Wong
putting
breaking
him
out? Like, what's the point of that? Like, is there some like multiverse stuff that's going on here?
Yeah, it could be multiple A-bombs that we're dealing with.
It's also true. And then all of that, how does that connect with Bruce being on an alien ship at the very end? Where is he going? What is he doing?
A lot of people have theorized Planet Hulk on that.
Where'd he got Planet Hulk though?
Like actual Planet Hulk.
More Planet Hulk?
Planet Hulk.
Sure.
I don't know why he's on a spaceship.
I think that's gonna be difficult. Yeah, because we don't really know who they are, right? Like he had a throwaway line about aliens and how, when you're like us, aliens will find you. You know, like kind of talking to Jen about her new superhero life.
Yeah, and he's just flying off, and he's like, I won't be available for a while. Literally just writ him in to write him out.
Yeah.
It's like you do your purpose and you leave. Type of thing. Looking
That's all he needed.
I mean, like, again, like I need to see more.
Yeah. There are a lot of episodes, though, like I said, because this is a different format. I think there's, like, 11 episodes, maybe more.
We'll be Daredevil as well.
6. Yeah, because you're going more for that format rather than the super long one. I just feel like this episode intentionally breaks everything up, where it's like, Bruce is going on the alien planet. We don't know if he's going to be back in the show, right? Abomination is supposedly broken out, and there's connections to Shang-Chi and Wong, all that stuff. And now Jen is just kind of sitting here like...
all alone, dealing with this.
Yeah, so like, what do I do now?
Like, she's the only one who can actually do Hulk things now on the planet. If needed.
That's true, yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's other heroes, I guess, but...
it's a Marvel show.
She's the only Hulk.
There's other heroes, but you're the only one here. I guess Daredevil's gonna show up. He's gonna pop.
He's gonna show up at some point, yeah.
Lawyer meet lawyer.
Probably not soon. That's true too, yeah. And they're both defense lawyers, I believe.
May also see some Punisher. Maybe
lawyers.
We'll see Punisher. I don't know if he's actually confirmed for the show.
Oh, I don't know about that. Maybe.
But I
haven't seen Punisher confirmed. Season 1 yet.
Don't worry, I haven't watched
the
Netflix Marvel. No, not Punisher. Daredevil's confirmed for season, or for She-Hulk.
Yeah. Daredevil.
Mhm.
But yeah. I mean, kind of like you said, you kind of have to see more. Where it's like, I don't know what happens now. Like, what happens with Jen? Like, does she still have a job there? That was kind of her whole case
Dude,
with holding up the hero division.
I would love if she just kept getting fired and hired at her jobs.
Yeah.
Like every episode is her starting a new job and just getting fired.
That's her like tragic story.
And then she's like, I guess I'll be She-Hulk.
We didn't talk about, because what I was just gonna mention was that we did have the post-credit scene in this one where it's like, oh, her kind of helping her dad, which is funny, right? She's strong. Her dad, by the way, one of the best MCU dads. Like their discussion in the garage, where he's just like, hey, it's gonna be okay. You know what I mean? It's not the first time we've dealt with a Hulk in the family. You're still alive. You didn't destroy a city. You know what I mean? Like, everything's gonna be fine. I was like, hey, it's a good dad.
It's like, were they upset that Bruce destroyed the city?
Yeah, he did. He did destroy Harlem, I think, right?
They were like, don't come back ever until you fix that.
Yeah. Right. But we have the first episode's post-credit scene, which is She-Hulk, which is Jen baiting information about Captain America from Hulk. And like, did you see that there was like, people were upset about that post-credit scene because they think it ruins Steve Rogers?
Does it though?
Because like, are they insinuating that he was not loyal to Peggy? Because like, I didn't really get that from
They
that.
weren't in a relationship anyway.
That's also true. Well, no, wait, because were they not together at all before he died in the first Avenger?
I don't believe so. I could be wrong. Not believe so.
Because like, wasn't there like the flashbacks to like him going to like their send-off party? Like, hey, this is the big night before everyone's being sent off tomorrow or whatever. And like, they were together at that point, weren't they? And that was before, obviously, he died in the ice. I don't know. All I know is that people got really upset over that. I guess they interpreted it that Captain America was not faithful. I didn't see it as that though. I just saw it as like, I mean, I guess it really depends on if him and Peggy were in a relationship beforehand, because after he came back doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know the timeline too well. I don't remember First Avenger very well. I don't remember liking that movie all that much, so I didn't watch it a lot.
It was an okay movie. It wasn't bad. Best way to
Yeah, it
describe
was fine.
Obviously, like, Winter Soldier's like the best of the Cap movies, but like, come on.
Sure. You still trying to figure out the timeline?
No, I gave up. I'm closing that right now.
Oh, okay. Okay. But yeah, that was just another thing that I wanted to mention because people were upset about it, I guess, for no reason.
But I thought, it's a funny one-off line. It doesn't really change anything. I assume he had no relationship with Peggy at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like feelings, but I'm pretty sure they didn't do anything really off of that. And they were pretty much being like, after he comes back, that's really going to solidify it. But he didn't.
Yeah. But yeah, that is She-Hulk. Watch episode 3 next time. have a good time. I think episode 3 could be a good one. Because we're gonna see all of the fallout of what just happened, and I think episode 3 will really start showing us what the
we'll really
show
dive
is going
into
to be.
She-Hulk. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, and then lastly, we got the book. Little book club we got. Liza Locke Lamora Part 2. Do you want me to start, Ray, or you got it?
You can start. I got notes this time.
You got notes?
I got notes. As I promised.
Let's hear the notes, my man.
If you have anything you want to say, you can start. Otherwise, I mean...
Okay, alright. So, first real quick thing I want to touch on is the mystery. Remember I brought up the shadowed figure. Turns out the shadowed figure was the Scorpion Hawk.
Yes, you did bring that up, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Love to see it come back.
Right. So yeah, I just have a few notes, but I think they're pretty good. I wrote that they keep mentioning Sabetha, but won't actually show her.
We know she's now a redhead?
The boys. Yeah, redhead. We know she's seen the boys a few times, in terms of flashbacks, right? Because at the point we're at, we're like, oh yeah, remember we've talked to them or whatever. So we know they've met her, but the writer, Scott, will not show them interact. And then also, kind of like you just mentioned, she was mentioned as the other redhead. So we know one of the ways that she knows how to get information out of people. That's kind of her thing. She's very persuasive, right? But again, they just keep mentioning her. They won't show her. I feel like at this point, I think we talked about it last time, and it's even more true this time, where there's so much build up for her. Like, I wonder how they're gonna actually show her. And okay, here's a prediction opportunity, right? The first time we see her actually interact in real time, do you think it'll be in the flashbacks, or do you think it'll be in present day?
I think we're gonna see her present day first, and then flashback it.
Interesting. Okay, that would fall in line with, I feel like, how he utilizes the flashbacks.
I do like the flashbacks. I enjoy seeing like how he kind of builds up and how he uses it to kind of feed us information about like the mentality of our characters, as well as like how the Chains is a complete savage in raising these kids.
The other note I have is, so the bonds. Okay, so this is something I want to talk about, Rick, because I don't quite understand what happened, and you might have picked up on this better than I did. It's basically about the ending, I would say.
Okay.
So the Bondsmage tattled on the Grey King.
Mm-hmm.
The Grey King and the Falconer didn't know, I guess. Kappa killed Locke, quote unquote, because he didn't kill him, right? That'd be impossible. Yeah. So did the Grey King see this coming, and that's why he pulled Locke into the plan? And also, could the Falconer not have helped Locke at all?
I think it's like they determined, I don't know if this is actually true or not based on what we're reading, but he can stop people from like other attacks, but the fact that they can like hurt him physically is something that is never touched on with the Bondsmage eye. The fact that they can bruise and like batter him down. Yeah.
The explanation was that he can't be like pierced or whatever, but no one ever said anything about like
bludgeoning him
damage or anything. Yeah. But like so okay, so I just want to break this down a little bit. So okay, so first I just need help understanding the Bondsmage and the Falconer are two different people.
Oh, they're the same person.
They're the same person?
The Bondsmage is the Falconer.
Are you 100% sure?
Yes.
Okay, that changes everything. But like, okay, same person. Okay, makes sense. I just feel like the way it was presented, I feel like Locke confused me then, because I feel like he's referenced the Bondsmage by saying Bondsmage, and then he's referenced the Falconer. I don't know why he would use both names.
They're synonyms.
He's the reason I'm confused. Okay, so they're the same person. Okay, so the Falconer is out then. He's like, I'm not in for the whole killing Nazca thing. That was too treacherous. I'm turning on the Grey King.
He's the one who killed
Nazca. The Grey King
Nazca.
didn't know.
Huh? He's the one who killed Nazca.
Right, but I know that, but then like Kappa's explanation is that like he knew about
that was like too far of a move though to push.
Right, yeah. So because the Kappa's story is that the Falconer was like, I'm out. I don't like this. You know, the Grey King went too far. So the Falconer turned on him, went to the Kappa and was like, hey, so here's the thing, right? Like, you can't shoot arrows at him, but you can like touch him and like, you know, you like physically hurt him that way. And so that's how the Kappa knew.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's straight, right? So then the Falconer, still playing double agent, he goes to Locke. He's like, okay, you got everything ready. We're good here. People are down here. We're all good. We're going to meet him. Here we go. And then Falconer doesn't do anything. And the Falconer's just like, haha. I mean, he doesn't say I tricked you, but like, doesn't the Falconer like send messages to Locke's mind? And the Falconer's like, oh no, what's going on? Like he says something to Locke where he sounds confused, unless he's just acting. Like,
I think it's like we have to wait till the next part really to kind of piece out this, because even now we don't know whose side he's on.
And you tell me like the Grey King.
We don't know
like
who's like what's happening. We don't know anything that's actually happening. This entire situation is like blown up, and we don't know what's happening at all. Like, is the Grey King intentionally leave and plan this out so Locke could get hit? Like, does he want Locke out entirely, and this was like all technically just a hit on Locke? Or like, is it like, oh no, I'm trying to get out of town like right now and like not be here, and you're gonna take the fall for me? And then with the Bondsmage,
his excuse,
it's like, is he actually go with the Kappa, or is this all a part of him being with like, oh no, this is for the Grey King? I just have to act like this is this, and then he'll think that you're dead, and then when the Grey King comes back here, we take the Kappa.
So a couple things there. Grey King's story was that he had some other business to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what that means, but that is what he said.
Mm-hmm.
Because we still don't know what the Grey King's plan is in total, right? Like, we don't know what his intentions are.
Because we only know what Locke knows.
And then, what was the other thing? I forgot. It's all over. It's all over for me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty savage book, though. They straight up get Nazca. They kill Nazca. They're like, however Nazca died, that's how we're gonna kill you, Grey King.
I like Nazca too. I was sad that she died.
We thought she had more to go.
Yeah, same.
We thought that she would have been like more, reoccurring, and what a great trick though to do that. To have that in the back of our mind that we'll see this character again, and to just like be like, nope, we rip it from you real quick. It's actually a pretty good twist you don't see coming.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. Oh, Nazca's dead. What? But what I was gonna say earlier was, again, the story was the Falconer stopped being paid.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the whole thing with Bondsmages, where the Bondsmages are super expensive. And when you don't get money, it's like, okay, I'm done. I don't like.
They're free agents.
This is my
Do
job.
whatever
If
they
you're not
want.
gonna pay
Yeah.
me,
They
yeah.
have.
So again, that's the story. If he stopped being paid, then that would make sense as to why he finally turned on the Grey King. And again, I don't know why. Morals maybe would have brought him to help, because if the Grey King stopped paying him, he could have just left. He didn't have to come here and help the Kappa. You know, so there's like kind of more mystery there as to what his intentions are. Again, maybe this is all the Grey King's plan. We don't know what the Grey King's big plan is. Maybe he does actually need Locke out of here. When he met Locke, didn't really felt like Locke was consequential to whatever his plans were. Could have been a lie, right? Because to us, even though Locke is much more than he seems to be, which is intentional, he still is just robbing rich people, you know? Like, he's not starting a war or anything. Again, we don't know what Grey King is trying to do. He's also just a dude. I also would like to see Jean fight more, like train more. We haven't really seen too much of that. We just kind of saw him the one time.
Yeah, we'll see more in
I'd
some
like to see, like,
flashback
more-
maybe, or we'll see him actually fight.
Yeah, I just like the whole like learning arc, you know. So like, if I'd be okay with it, but you know, I'd kind of want a little more of like, hey, here's me teaching him to fight, rather than the one scene of him going to like the glass roses, and then we never mention it again, and he's just a good fighter now.
Okay, I will be back in just a moment. Forgive me.
Okay,
I will take off my camera. I'll be back.
sure.
Whoa.
Okay. So Rayman's gone. Let's talk about him. Okay, he's actually gone. Or maybe he just muted himself. Well, I don't really want to talk about the book when he's not here. What else can we talk about? What other books have I been reading? Oh, dude, I started, I read Scythe, right? Let's see, I'm trying to think of what I talked about last time. Scythe 2, I think, yeah. So any fans out there, I think I talked about Scythe earlier. It's the arc of Scythe. I started reading Scythe 2, or no, I finished it actually. What was it called? Thunderhead, Neil Shusterman. Again, if you're listening to this part, you're probably into books, so that's another recommendation I got for you. Arc of Scythe by Neil Shusterman. There's 3 books. I just finished the second one. Second one ends crazy. Like the second book ends in a way where it's like how I feel like most second books in trilogies end, where it's just like something like crazy, where it's like pop. You know, there's like 4 things that happen in the last chapter that just completely open up the world. You know, some possible deaths, some confirmed deaths, some mystery as to where some characters are, and it really just super like branches, right? You know how branches breaks up into smaller branches, That's kind of what the ending of book 2 did, and yeah, so book 3 is gonna be crazy. If anyone out there wants to read it, you definitely should. I don't think I'll talk about it super in detail. I don't know if Ray's read the entire trilogy or not. I know he's read at least book 1. But other than that, I don't really remember. Other than that, you know, other than Liza Locke Lamora, I read Wheel of Time. Wheel of Time's a good one. See, now my camera is doing great now. It's just, I think it's just taking in the stream from Ray's camera. My computer can't handle it. I don't know, I gotta get a new computer. One that's actually powerful. I got a Mac, and it's really not that good. You know, I think at the time, it's like a 2017, so it's been a few years. I should probably get a new one, due for a new one. But at the time, pretty good. But I looked at the specs recently, and I'm like, man, this computer is actually not great. It's only like a 2-core computer, which is not great. You know, like the memory on it isn't, the RAM isn't really that high. I think it's like 8 gigs of RAM or something, which is fine, but for something like this where I have to run like 3 programs all at the same time, yeah, it doesn't really work out all the time. So I was gonna say, after Arc of Scythe, the book I'm reading currently alongside Locke Lamora is Wheel of Time. Wheel of Time Book 2. It's definitely a series I would recommend. It's not one that I'm like super into, you know what I mean? Like, me and Ray touch on Mistborn and somewhat regrettably now the Kingkiller Chronicles, just because the author like has done some stuff that's just like, it's not like super bad, but it's just kind of like morally, it's like ugh, not really a big fan. It's like, I don't know, just like complaining about taxes when you're rich is just like, all right, man. But we bring up those series a lot because those are series that there's like go-to, at least for me. I'm going to talk for me, not for Ray. Those are definitely two, probably my favorite series I've ever read, because they're like go-tos. It's like, oh man, every chapter, every character, everything is just awesome. And so Wheel of Time is not quite at that level, but the first book, I think it just starts slow. I think if anyone were to try it, it's kind of a tough read overall, but I think once you get to like I always say this, when you get to like chapter 6, that's like the chapter where the book starts to happen. But the book 2, I think is pretty good so far. I think I'm like 20% of the way through it. And it's pretty good. Again, it kind of started a little slow, Books that start with prologues are always kind of tough because it's like, why does this matter? Just get me back to the characters that I know and love. But yeah, it's still really good. It's continuing it. I don't want to spoil it, so I feel like I shouldn't really say too much. But yeah. So those are the books. Don't really have too much else. If you made it this far, maybe go try out the other content that I make. I might do some reactions. I mostly react to like animated stuff. So I've done like Odd Ones Out. Those are always fun. Death battles are always fun. So yeah, maybe go check some of that out. If you've made it to the 2-hour mark of this podcast. One moment. Drinking some pink lemonade. I was always interested in... Not really. That was a bad segue. There aren't pink lemons, right? There's no pink lemons. So like, why is there differentiation between pink lemonade, regular lemonade? Is it just food coloring? Are there actual pink lemons? There's blood oranges. I don't know if you ever had a blood orange, but they're just like red oranges basically. I don't think they're red on the outside, but they are red on the inside. And I think I had them when I was in like elementary school. We had this program where, I think it was in 5th grade, where once a day, every class, that's definitely what it was. Now that Ray joined back, my camera's just gone to garbage. But once a day, they would make available like this big tray. No, they would bring each classroom would have available this big tray of a certain fruit or vegetable. It was different every day.
I like bell
I think it was
pepper.
mostly fruit. Bell peppers.
Bell pepper day was
I never
good.
really liked peppers as a
Bell
kid.
pepper day was pretty good. They had the red and orange ones. Fancy stuff.
Yeah, it was mostly fruits, and so like every day they bring enough fruits, and they would know how many people are in your classroom. So like if they're doing apples, they would know, oh, there's 25 kids in the classroom. Give it 25 apples, maybe 26 for the teacher. But sometimes they would get like sort of exotic, right? And so I think that's the first time I had a blood orange. I was like, ooh, what's that? Much better than a regular orange, I think. Another one we had like some that were trash were like raspberries. It's like, who eats raspberries? Those are garbage fruits. They're just nothing fruit. But we had like, I think we had like star fruit the one day, which like when it's cut up, it kind of looks like which is like really sweet, which is pretty good.
It looks like a little bit like a
I just feel like
lemon
they got
slice
lazy when they were
when
apples.
you cut it up. You're like,
yeah. Kind of reminded me of like a pickle slice.
It do be looking like that.
That's what I thought it was.
Quite thin stuff.
I think they got lazy when they were apples, because like we're from New York, and like that's what makes apples is New York. I feel like it was always lazy when they did that, but yeah, that was a pretty good time.
If you haven't already,
Jesus.
I'm gonna keep praising passion fruit. Passion fruit's good stuff.
I didn't do passion fruit. I don't know if I've ever had passion fruit. I've had like passion fruit like flavored stuff, but I don't think we did passion fruit in there. No.
Like actual passion fruit, like they're super like small. You can like hold them. They like cut off the top. I like to put
Right.
salt in there, like a couple shakes, stir it up, like take a spoon and just eat them. It's just a glorified bulb with like all the seeds inside and the juice. Guess some people, but I like
right.
salt. A little salt in there. I'm a simple man.
I don't really have a whole lot more, Ray, for the book. That was kind of all my notes.
Pull my notes. Because I have everything. I have story notes here. Nothing real questioning. Other than scorpion falcons are pretty cool.
I agree.
It's like, oh yeah, they have scorpion
something out of Avatar.
stingers as their claws.
That's good.
Like Jean being completely bullied and then being loved afterwards is so good. Like, we don't
That's a
like
nice
him. Why don't you
transformation.
like him? He's fat. Yikes. Is that it? Jane's like, is that it? I'm fat. You stupid.
Yeah. I mean, it was other stuff too. I mean, like, they didn't like that he cried in his sleep. He wasn't really a trained criminal the same way they were. They're like, oh, he doesn't belong here. You know, it's like, well,
No, you guys belong there.
You know, everyone has their... Yeah. And like he just schooled him with like the math machine.
Got it right here.
Oh.
I got a note. John, really good at math.
Yeah, he is.
Dude. The last flashback we got, or the second last flashback we got, was sending Locke away to learn a farmer's life. And it gave us a good amount of insight, actually. So, you send him away, and like, not only is he going to learn how to be a farmer, he's also going to learn how to be like other people who would be in a rural area. So he's going to learn how to like be like those type of merchants, those type of sellers there, those type of country guards and all that. He's going to learn all of that while being there. How that operate. And not only that, the real test for Locke there is actually to see how well he could be by himself and not screw anything up. No one's there to save him or help him out. It's just him. Which we see the repercussions of.
Do you think that's...
It is because it's hinting at the next chapter, which is literally him screwing himself up. Because it's just him out there alone. No one to help him there.
Mm-hmm. How come... Okay. Weren't the other gentleman bastards, like, lying in wait?
Oh yeah, they're waiting.
During
They're
this
not
meeting?
gonna go down there.
But they didn't hear all the commotion and they weren't like, it seems like a fight has broken out. I wonder what's
They're not
happening.
gonna try to fight the Kappa.
But there wasn't nothing. It was just...
Why would they go down there to fight the Kappa? That's as good as being dead.
Because their friend
That's
is
as good as being
dying?
dead at this point. Their best chance is waiting until everything else is over and then doing it. They're not
Okay.
supposed to be there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree with that.
It's what they gotta do.
Wasn't that the point of them being there, though? Was if something goes awry, they're there to help?
Yeah, I don't see how you help here. This is just a death trap.
So then what scenario fits in the middle where it's not too bad, but it's bad enough for them to help?
Well, in this case, they were hoping for a Bondsmage to be on
What
their side.
possible outcome?
I think it was any case where a
Sorry?
Bondsmage was helping them. That would be enough.
Was helping Locke.
Yeah. Because
Okay,
they were all
but-
operating under the assumption that there's a Bondsmage with us.
Sure, but under that logic, if there's a Bondsmage helping them, they wouldn't need their help because the Bondsmage is supposed
He's only
to
as
be
strong as
like
100
a
guys.
god.
There's like 200 guys.
I feel like that's picking hairs. I feel like that's. I don't know about that.
What? No, I'm just repeating whatever they have there.
Yeah.
In this case, I like that the last flashback they give as well is like Locke learning just how to like take a beating and just waiting for John to save the day. Which is
Yeah.
basically us seeing now, like, oh, that's what he's gonna do. He's just gonna sit here in this coffin until like it's all over. Until like John comes up and gets him. Plot twist: Samantha comes back and saves him.
That'd be something. Where did he go though? Didn't they push him down like a waterfall or something? Like in the sewers or something?
They straight up were like, get in here, you're gonna die. I don't think they said where they were putting him. Let me check real quick.
Well, no, I thought they put him in the barrel and then they like threw him off of something. They like threw him into the river or something.
I'm checking for right now. Oh, they're sending him down a waterfall.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there was nothing that the people could have done. They couldn't been like wait on the other side of the waterfall. They couldn't like, try to at least like, cause some kind of diversion so they could carry Locke out. Nothing. They just let their friend die.
I mean, we don't know right now, so all we know is he just gets sent off the side. And then the Kappa is just really excited about it. He's like, we killed the Great King? We are kings, dude. I am the one who takes Kamor. What a weird coincidence that Locke Lamora disappears when the Great King is dead. Huh. What a funky type of coinky dink is that?
I don't think anyone would pick up on that. That'd be a stretch.
It's like, my guy, he was sick.
He was sick. We saw him sick.
Dude. Who knows? I'm enjoying it so far, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Just curious to see how Locke gets out of this one.
I mean, I think there's a lot that needs to be answered. Even just like in story from Locke, where it's like, what just happened? You know what I mean? Like the Great King just betrayed me, possibly. The Falconer definitely betrayed me.
Or was the Falconer not betraying anyone and just doing what he was told to do?
Sure. I mean, I still think that's a betrayal against Locke.
Sure. Like, you assumed he would be with
Whether
you.
it wasn't with his own intentions or not.
It's like you assume you got a Bondsmage on your side. You're like, let's go. Like, I just got here and it's gonna be fine. But you see, I think this is me being big brain thinking about it, right? It's like, I think the Great King he knows this is gonna happen. He's like, I'm gonna go after the daughter. He's gonna try to kill me. But who's the one guy who would come out of this alive? Because it's not me. He's like, it's the Thorn of Kamor.
he wanted to kill the daughter.
Yeah. No. But it's like,
I mean, like this meeting, like from Locke's perspective, right?
mhm.
And from what the Grey King told him, like this meeting wasn't to smooth over the killing of his
It was
daughter.
to
Like he
get
killed
the
his daughter
comp of the
to
vent.
get the meeting. Yeah. But it's like, what was the point of the meeting then? Because again, like, I mean, kind of like you're saying, like, if the Grey King knew about all this, like this is real, like, big plan stuff. Because again, from Locke's perspective, this is not what's supposed to happen.
It was supposed to be
Like, there
like,
was a
I
point to
make
the meeting.
demands, the Kappa agrees, and walk away.
Yeah. And so, like, from Locke's perspective, like, the Bondsmage betrayed the Grey King. The Grey King's gonna be upset. And this did not go the way it was supposed to.
It's the worst possible.
But we just don't know the other side of it.
Yeah, we only know Locke's
Yeah.
perspective. We don't even know if the cop is lying or not, but he has no reason to lie.
Yeah, he'd have no reason to. I mean, unless, again, this is some, like, super big brain, like the Grey King got in with the Kappa. You know? Like, that's the only way.
But yeah, I'm assuming the Grey King. This is me before going into part 3, because we're nice guys, we don't read anything after this. I'm gonna assume the Grey King knows that this is gonna go down badly, because of everything he has planned, and he gets Locke in there because he's like, this Locke guy, because he's been keeping an eye on him, is basically unkillable. And this is all just a big test for him.
Interesting. So you think he has more plans for
Mhm.
him?
He's like, if you pass this, you can do so much more with me.
You can do anything. Sky's the limit.
And like, we also don't know, like, maybe the Bondsmage frees him from the waterfall. Like, he finds a way.
But I just feel like what is this initiation where it's like, oh, I'm gonna bring you there so you get beat up by the Kappa, and then you have proven yourself, and now you will be my apprentice. I don't know, it feels unnecessary.
There's like subtle things too, because he says he feels familiar, the Grey King, but he just can't name him.
He's himself, but from the future.
Yo, I mean, his father's alive. I'm not saying it's his father, but like,
it's true. We've never seen him in the same place.
It's like all we know is his father was like a bandit, I think, is what they said. Like think? I may be wrong.
Yeah.
His mom's dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Good riddance. Yeah. They're also ready to leave too. Wasn't that the contingency plan? They're gonna get everything and leave off a boat.
Yeah. If this all goes down, we're just gonna get out of here.
Yeah.
There's so much things that could happen in the next part. So, I also do like that the author starts off every section with an actual, not like in-story quote, but like an actual book quote.
Yeah.
Where he's like, hey, this book here, that's actually a real book. I'm just gonna quote it real quick and put it in here. Like the start of every one of these parts.
Sets the tone. Yeah, that's nice.
He's like, shout out to this cool author here. This legend.
This guy right here.
Call him out real quick. Real one.
But yeah. So we'll do part 3 next time.
Yeah.
Next week. 3 out of 4.
Dude, it's like 200 pages like apart. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's like what, like
It's a pretty good
8
clip.
to 9 chapters maybe, or 8 to 10 chapters.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good read.
Yeah, it works. And then just to recap everything, for the anime, make sure to do Lycoris Recoil, Rent a Girlfriend, episodes 5 and 6. And you got that wrong, right?
3 and 5? 5, 6.
That's so strange. For the movie, we're gonna do the mysterious mind of something.
Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
The other Nick Cage movie. Yeah, you know. For MCU, we're gonna do episode 3 of She-Hulk, and for the book, Lies Lamora Part 3.
Call.
Good time all around.
Hold the book real quick. Revelation.
And yeah. Is it, Ray? Anything else before we close out?
I think that's all I got now. I'm excited though.
That's it.
Recoil,
Awesome.
She-Hulk, Locke, Lamora, they all got stuff that's kind of cool. I also, one thing I do want to say about Locke, Lamora as well is that I do like that we're getting a little bit more of the magic of the world. Slowly and ever lightly. Seeing a bit more of alchemy. The magic's, it's not being explained yet, but we're getting a little bit more dosage of it. A little spoon feeding.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's different. It's different than other series.
And I understand why it's not the focus as well, because none of our main characters have any of that aptitude that we're seeing. They're just thieves. They don't need.
Maybe Sabetha does.
Maybe Sabetha does. Or Sabetha? Sabetha.
Mm-hmm.
She could be cool though.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see her.
Man, what a wild twist if she just doesn't come up in this book. She's just talked about the entire time. Don't break her.
Yeah, if we just never see her. The next book is Sabetha's finally here.
The book ends with her
waiting all this
chapter,
time.
and she's like, damn, I'm back. I hate it.
The book ends and Sabetha was never real. Never real.
Are all of them crazy? Because Chains even came up with her. Like, Locke is obsessed, so like the questions are getting wide. Everyone's convinced that she's real, or they're playing along with it.
Could be true. You never know. Maybe Chains was gentled, and this is all in his gentled mind.
Dude. We may see gentling happen to people.
That'd be nice.
Radical.
Alright. That's it for today. Have a good day, Rayman. And only Rayman.
Stay frosty.